Well, let's bring on Matt Creamer, the head basketball coach of the Crusaders of Canton Central Catholic. So anxious to come on the show today. He's on an hour and 10 minutes early. Coach, good afternoon. How you doing today?
Got a break in practice. We're doing some prelims, and we're ready to go.
All right, Coach C. All right, regular season in the books. 11 up, 11 down. And I will say, because I just looked at it for the 50th time, this has got to be one of your most challenging schedules, I would say, in your coaching career. Yes? No?
Yeah, I'd say it's one of those tougher ones, Sam. We've got a lot of big opponents on there. And what the tough thing was, we had guys that were injured, a couple starters out for a few of those, but you learn from that, and you keep on and you keep going.
So what did this group learn about the incredible competition? And as you mentioned, having to go into some games a little bit, maybe undersized or outmanned because you had guys down with illness or sickness or whatever. What did this group, do you think, learn and take from that as you prepare for the tournament?
I think the value ball possessions, every little thing that happens in the game, you got to perfect. You got to get 50-50 balls, get extra rebounds, take a charge, make an extra pass, make free throws, learn how to do all those things and build and maintain leads. And if you can do that against really good teams, you can compete if you may not have the athletes that the other team has. And so I think that's been our best learning curve, Sammy, for the whole season, just those things I mentioned.
So looking back at some of the wild nights that you had to play, some really good teams. Of course, St. V here recently, you played a very good Hoban team. You played an excellent Maslin team, a very good McKinley team, a pretty good Glen Oak, Colonel Crawford, which you beat them. They were undefeated. Perry, who's kind of coming along here a little bit. You played Fitch, you played Ursuline. Is there a game or two, Matt, out of those that you really learned a lot about your team moving forward?
Well, I think one of the things that hurt us was losing at Glen Oak in the overtime. We had command of the game in the last few minutes of the fourth quarter. Kind of took some quick bad shots, and then we made a couple bad decisions on defense and fouled someone that sent them to the line when it was the fifth foul, and they tied it up, and then they beat us in overtime. And if you stay away from those little mistakes like that, you win that game. But I think the other thing was, we learned against Colonel Crawford. I really did probably a better job coaching at the end instead of relying on just, hey, let's make a shot. Let's get them to foul us. Work the ball around, and it's not so much a delay, but it's spreading the floor with the ball, and we'll take it. We'll take a nice shot if we get it, but let's make sure it goes in. And that's how the season goes, up and down. You're playing at McKinley against them. We played Ursuline and Fitch tough. McKinley got us good. I want to say St. V got us good, but we were in the Maslin game. We were in the Hoban game against bigger opponents, and that helps us build that type of knowledge to defend in the tournament and keep going.
No doubt. Coach Matt Creamer of Canton Central Catholic, our guest here on the Sam Bourquin Show, 1310 WDPN. Tournament play begins for the Crusaders on Friday at 6 p.m. They're the 10 seed. They will be at number 9, Berkshire. That's at 6 p.m. on Friday. Coach, I got to ask you about the tournament draw. What were your expectations going in, your thoughts after, and the fact that it's going to be a 9-10 matchup right off the rip?
Well, I think the thing was that we were glad to get a 10th seed, being 11 and 10 at the time, and played St. V after the tournament draw, and we were 11-11. But, Sammy, our strength of schedule was second toughest in Division 5 in the state of Ohio, behind Lutheran East. So that's what we prepare for. The only reason I went to that line in the bracket against Burton Berkshire is the simple fact that hopefully we can avoid Cleveland Lutheran East. I've lost them in the regional final a couple times, and them in Richmond Heights and the regional. So that was the one bracket where they are not waiting until that regional final. And that's kind of our goal, to get there and see what we can do and prepare for that.
Well, certainly that would make sense, because you guys have obviously you keep building with your district championships and your runs to the regional, and it always seems to that team's kind of in the way. So as long as you can avoid them, and funny things happen along the way, maybe this year be the year you can get through that door. Individually now, for you, who has been playing extra special basketball here the last month or so?
Well, we're led by Lance Velosky and Jake Bowling do bulk of our scoring, and then Will Miner does a lot of the interior scoring and rebounding, and he's really come on the last 8 or 9 games. He's kind of averaging a double-double in those, and Lance is averaging almost 13 or 14, and so is Bowling. But, those guys kind of lead us, but we've got other guys come in and spell out. Dylan Minnie's been in and out with injuries, and Max Fry's done a good job off the bench. Joey Meyer has been a starter up and down, and fills in and gets it done with Tyler Cook, another kid that comes off the bench and starts. And, we have like a starting 7 or 8 man rotation just depending on matchups.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's one of the things we're trying to look at. We've been able to get some sophomores some time during this latter part of the season. And so we've got 8 or 9 guys we can put out there. Let's get after it and go play.
Coach Matt Creamer, our guest from Canton Central Catholic. You mentioned Will Miner, Coach, and I remember him going out there as a freshman and trying to, work into his body and get the feel of the game and work on agility and quickness and shooting. What kind of success have you seen from Will since his freshman year until now?
Well, he's grown in size, strength, and in knowledge, and he's really done a great job with mid-range jump shots and in and around the basket. He's working on jump hooks and stuff off the board. One thing that we've really talked about is sprinting the floor all times, get ahead of the ball, sprint the floor. And when he sprints the floor, we're tough to beat because that's going to take a lot of people with him.
Mm-hmm.
And get up on the block. We focused in the earlier part of the season with him trailing in our break and getting that rub screen up top and then popping and pick and pop with him to shoot a 3. But we've kind of scrubbed all that, and we want him running to the rim, be a rim runner, get to the block, and we feed the ball into him on the break, and he scores quickly. And that's one way to get things going.
That was my next question on my list here. Is Will the kind of guy, we hear this about the NBA, getting guys involved early. Some of the, the big time coaching in college, get so-and-so involved early. Is that kind of like the thing with Will to maybe get him into the flow so he's kind of sticking with you all night long?
Yeah, we want to get quick starts, Sammy. That helps all of us, I think. And, if you get a quick start and get after it, it helps Will. It helps our team get going. But our players get to see some success when they feed the ball into them. A lot of times you feed a ball into the post guy, and he's getting double, triple team. And so we're going to see how they're going to play. And then he can kick it out to the shooter, so we work inside out. And I think that's one of the better things we do instead of coming down and just pulling up for jump shots after a couple passes. Let's work inside out. That gets Will involved. And then he gets you involved. When they double down and try to dig for the ball, he gets the ball back out to you, and it's created space for your shot. It seemed to be working out pretty good.
Coach Matt Creamer, our guest from Canton Central Catholic here on the Sam Bourquin Show, 1310 WDPN. Crusaders in tournament action Friday night, 6 o'clock at Burton, Berkshire, 10 seed versus the 9. Coach, the tradition that you have brought to Central Catholic since you've taken the job, and not only did you get the first district championship in the history of the school, you've got many of them, and there's been tough schedules. There's been great district and regional road trips for your club. You've learned a lot, and I know the talent changes over the years, but do you get the feeling that this group again is ready to make that postseason charge? Are they starting to feel it and believe that they can go forward?
Well, I think we've built for that. We're kind of built that way, Sammy, with our schedule. But I was on him tough the last couple of days, and I explained something to him before the practice started tonight. I said, I've been hard on you, and so is Coach Greenfelder, so is Coach Williams. We've been after him because this team has yet to win a tournament game. And I said, go to last year. I used to be tough on Luke Velosky and Jonathan Stengel and Easton Miller. Now it's this seniors group. I'm tough on them. And they shook their head. They kind of remember that. And that's one of the things. We want to go out and win a tournament game Friday. And it's not so much what we have to prepare what we want to do, not
Right.
so much what the other team's doing. We want to keep doing what we do and perfect it and get better each step of the way.
Coach, what will, like the rest of today and then, Wednesday, Thursday, how will you guys, handle practice? Is there a little film work, extra shooting, less running? How do you handle the next couple of days?
Well, tonight after we're done about 4:45, we'll go up to the film room, up to my classroom and watch film with Berkshire. They've been watching it on Huddle over the weekend. And so we'll look at some things that we're going to do against them in the film and talk about. Tomorrow we'll have practice after school, about 3:15 to about 4:45. We'll go through our offensive, defensive breakdowns, our blobs and slobs, our press offense and defense, and go 5-on-0 man-to-man, 5-on-0 man offense, and then 5-on-0 zone offense, and then we'll do some shooting at the end. But it won't be a lot of heavy running tomorrow or even Thursday. And Thursday's practice will be a duplicate of what we're going to do tomorrow too, just to kind of refine it and put it in their brain. That's what we're going to do, and then we'll get on the bus 3:00 on Friday and head up to Geauga County.
Good stuff. Well, we wish you nothing but the best. Safe travels. Have a great couple of preparation practices, and best of luck to you and the crew on Friday. And let's keep her rolling.
All right, Sammy. Always a pleasure to talk to you. Appreciate it.
You got it, my man. Have a great practice, Coach. Thank you.
Thanks.
There he goes, Matt Creamer of the Central Catholic Crusaders, joining us here on the Sam Bourquin Show, 1310 WDPN.